I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 93, Pro Mahjong Kiwame 64. Released exclusively in Japan in 1997, this game was developed and published by Athena. Aw man, you gotta be kidding me. Another Mahjong game? Well, there are 7 in total on the N64, so here we are with the third one. After that disaster we had with Mahjong Master, there's just no possible way this one can be worse, right? Right? Well, I was really enjoying Mahjong at first, but these N64 games are just ridiculous. Who the heck was buying these things? What is the target audience? Alright, let's get this over with. Also, quick shout out to Who Was Phone on GameFAQs for making translation guides for most of these Japanese exclusive titles. They've been incredibly helpful during this journey. Link in the description. So this Mahjong game had the least information about it available of all of them. I was kind of clueless. The main menu had the choices Gambling Mode, Pro Mode, Training Mode, and System Settings. I guess the Pro Mode was like the main mode? So I just went into that. Within Pro Mode, you can choose either free game, challenge game, title match, or go back. I wasn't able to select the title match, so I guess I had to do the challenge game first. In the challenge game, you can choose either the Dragon, Phoenix, or Tiger match. Each of these are their own separate thing where you complete different challenges. I went with the first one and I didn't understand exactly what it wanted from me. I now know, and it's kind of ridiculous. I had to play 4 consecutive East-South matches and win by a minimum of 200 points. The points are awarded based on how much money you're ahead by, I believe. Based on my time in Mahjong Master, a single attempt at this challenge would take over 2 hours. Yikes. I went into the match and it showed these 3 very creepy looking images of Japanese businessmen. At least that's what they look like to me. Apparently, this game features many professional Mahjong players, and the appeal is you get to feel like you're playing against them. There's just such a wide audience that this game appeals to, like, man, everybody would be rushing to buy this. The first hand ended in a draw, but the second hand ended in the best way possible. Oh. Get rolled! I got to roll the guy to my right. Basically, he threw down the last tile I needed to finish my hand and win. It was a huge win with Mangan. It was hilarious, cause the picture it showed of him was him trying to look all sad. This means they made these Mahjong players take like a normal picture, but then they made them take like a sad picture and a happy picture for when they win. I'm just trying to imagine them in the photo studio for this game and someone directing it like, okay, now look like you just lost your life savings. No, that's horrible. Do it now with feeling. So the game was going smoothly. By this point in the challenge, I had gotten pretty good at Mahjong. By the way, I won't be going over the ins and outs of how Mahjong works because it would take quite a while to explain. I'd recommend watching a proper Mahjong tutorial, but I did do a brief rundown in the first Mahjong game of this challenge. Link in the description. So anyway, the game just randomly crashed. Aw man, all that time down the drain just like that. There's no way to save during a game or anything like that because the game uses an autosave feature. The next time around, the match was pretty uneventful. I didn't do amazing, but I didn't do bad either. I had a solid second place. Now, in most Mahjong games, getting top 2 is generally very good. However, you may notice I only received 5 points for the second and nearly first place finish. Considering the win condition is to win by over 200 points after 5 consecutive matches, that's not too good. I'll need to have 40 points per win on average. Then you can have things like I had in the next match. The guy across the table from me just kept winning over and over. He had amassed over 50,000 points and none of us had won a single hand. Despite this massive lead, he only had 32 points at the end of the second match. Remember, I need to average 40 per match to win this challenge. Oh my god, I was just getting so tired of the faces too. This guy just gets such a happy look every time he wins. I want to be happy for him too, but inside, I'm just so mad at how random this game is. Well, I think you know where this is heading. I spent around 2 hours getting to the end of this challenge and yeah. I had amassed a total of negative 19 points. I needed 200 to win, so if I do some quick math, yeah, it wasn't even close. Oh, it takes nearly 2 hours to attempt this once? You've got to be kidding me. These Mahjong games just get more and more out of hand. The first session of streaming this game had ended, and I had made zero progress. I was devastated. This challenge mode just felt impossible. Let me break it down for you. There are 2 challenges per cup. You have to complete both challenges to unlock the title match for that cup. So like this first challenge is to play the 5 consecutive matches and win by over 200 points, you know, like I explained before. It takes 2 hours to attempt that once, so if you lose, well, you gotta do another 2 hours. The other challenges vary a bit with different amounts of games and such. I even saw one wanting you to play 7 games in a row. The guy who had over 50,000 points and won basically every hand only had 32 match points for that one match. I hope you can see how ridiculous this is. There's not even a way to cheese the game by like saving and exiting if you get bad RNG or anything like that. The game saves automatically, and if you quit out of a match, it goes all the way back to the start of the whole challenge. Luckily for us, there is a different game mode in this, being the gambler mode. It just has 2 modes inside, free mode and challenge mode. Sure sounds a lot like the other one. When you go into challenge mode, there's sort of an overworld? I guess you could call it that. It shows some city and certain Mahjong pros control that territory or something like that. It's like Turf Wars. It has challenges similar to the pro mode, but man, these feel so much more reasonable. The A challenge wants me to play a single East-South match and win by 30 points. That requires me to have a really solid game, but it's only 30 in a single match. You know, just slightly more achievable than an average of 40 over 5 consecutive matches. This created an interesting problem with this game. How do I beat it? There's essentially no information out there on this one, and no matter what you do, it's just not that interesting. You're just playing Mahjong matches over and over and over again. So I decided my clear condition would be to beat all of the first level challenges in the gambler mode. There's 4 territories in total, so that's 4 challenges in all. It felt like a fair compromise to ensure I achieved something in this game without killing my channel from Mahjong for 300 hours straight. So anyway, I started with the A challenge, which I mentioned the goal of earlier. I guess I'll talk about one of the most important aspects of a Mahjong game, the table. The table itself is just kinda sad. It's just this green void where you see only Mahjong tiles. There's no character to it at all. Along with that, the default view is zoomed in where the tiles themselves are really high quality. However, in this view you can't see all the info you need, so you are able to zoom out. This makes the tiles a lot less readable though, so neither view is ideal. Plus, I've already mentioned those creepy pro player faces a lot at this point. Those would have given me nightmares as a kid. One thing I did appreciate about this game over the other 2 is you can increase the game's speed. At least I think you couldn't do that in the others. When playing so many matches, the increased speed helps a lot with grinding them out, although it becomes easier to make a mistake. Another thing that bothered me is when you finished your hand, the game doesn't let you know. Sure, this is a game for pro Mahjong enthusiasts, but it's a nice quality of life thing. There were quite a few times where I didn't realize I had won the hand and I threw my winning tile away. And then there's the music. The game offers an incredibly large selection of music with so many genres to fit all interests. There are a whopping 2 songs in the entire game. Like, you've gotta be kidding me. How can there only be 2? The other games had pretty solid music, but this one just completely falls flat here. Alright, after 15 minutes or so, I'd finished the match in the A challenge, but I only had 21 points. Ah, dang it, not good enough. Oh wait, it gave me the stamp of approval. Now there's a new challenge there. I think maybe it's because the glasses guy had negative 11, so I had more than 30 points over him? I don't really know. With that out of the way, I learned a horrible thing about this game. At least, I think. There might be a way to roll credits in it. Maybe. Some people in my community found a scan for the manual of the game, and it mentions a password screen in the settings menu. There are 5 passwords in all. 2 are earned from completing every challenge and title match in the pro mode, 2 are earned from fully completing the gambler mode, and the final one is earned from completing the Mahjong quiz. There's no info out there about what these passwords do or anything like that. Maybe it's the credits, or maybe it just says like, wow, congratulations or whatever. Or maybe it says, we didn't believe anyone would waste so much time playing this awful game to reveal this, and it's a picture of all the pro players pointing and laughing at you. Okay, that one's probably not it. Like I said earlier, with how long the matches take and how luck-based Mahjong is, I estimate it could take well over 300 hours to get all these passwords. Maybe I'll do it with save states on an emulator someday, but honestly, probably not. I'm curious if there's a single person in the world who has earned these passwords without save states. Alright, so now back to the gambler mode. I was taking on the B challenge from some woman. I think her name is Junko Takahashi. This challenge introduced something really strange, chips. My goal was to have +1 chips. Not sure if that means one more than her, or just a positive amount of chips. We all start with 0, and we somehow gain and lose them. I'm not really sure what causes this. Like here, I won the hand, but my chip count went from 1 to -1. At the end of this first attempt, I had -2 chips, which just isn't gonna cut it. It took a few tries to get through this one. I honestly just had no idea what I even needed to do. In general, winning hands seemed like a good idea, but sometimes it wasn't. I got a massive win at the end of the match to somehow gain 6 chips, giving me a total of 9. The end stat screen showed and I was ready to get my stamp of approval. But for some reason, it went to a second match. It never did this when I lost, so maybe it only does it when you win? The results did carry over, so I only needed to do decent here to maintain my winning status. I actually did quite well and got 2 more chips, putting me at 11 total. Then I got the stamp of approval. 2 challenges down. So now we're on to the C challenge. My translator fails on this guy's name, sorry. It says Fukushima Rule of Government, which I don't think that's a person's name. Anyway, this was another one of these chip matches. I think I had to earn more chips than him 3 times. Some of the white dragon tiles had a red dot on them, and I think if these are in your winning hand, you get bonus chips? I don't really know. The chip rule just doesn't make sense at all. Like, I know how to play Mahjong, but I didn't understand this. It took a few tries at it, but I eventually got a real solid first match with 5 chips to my name. I think I only needed to beat the pro who was issuing the challenge. The others are irrelevant. After the second match, well, I had -6. Hopefully I do better in the third. Well, at the end, something weird happened. Someone at the table had a huge win with Sumo. However, my points and chips went up, giving me +7. I have no idea what happened, but it said I won, so I'll take it. 1 challenge to go. The D challenge, it was just standard. I had to have a positive score total after 3 consecutive East-South matches. Thank goodness, I hated those chips. The first try was absolute trash with -22. On the second go at it though, I had an insane first match that made up for my awful next 2 matches. I got the stamp of approval and all 4 challenges were completed. This satisfied my clear condition for the game. So before I end here, I did mess around a bit in the final mode, the Mahjong quiz. This is a place where you can hone your skills in various aspects of the game. So like this first one I did requires you to choose all the tiles you're waiting on to finish your hand. The examples they give are actually quite complex. I'm decent at Mahjong at this point, but I never really got any of these right. You do earn partial credit for questions though, which is indicated by the triangle after you answer. When you get a fully correct answer, you get a big circle, which I only did once. It gives you a score at the end out of 100, and I think you have to take 3 quizzes in a row to complete it. Then there's a quiz showing you a hand, and it asks you which tile to discard to earn the most points. There's multiple tiles that can be a good discard, but only one of them is optimal. I think this is really advanced because you have to know a lot about scoring. Speaking of scoring, one of the other quizzes requires you to calculate how many points a certain hand is worth. I think this is kind of useless in the modern day because people play online and the game calculates score for you. I think even in person there are score calculators nowadays, although that might not be true. I literally had no idea how to do this one. And then there's a final quiz where it just combines questions from the previous 3 quizzes. I guess it's like a final exam type thing. You have to get perfect scores on all these 3 times in a row to earn the password. But yeah, anyway, this game is a weird one, and I'd achieved my clear condition I set for myself, so I'm calling it here. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating Pro Mahjong Kiwame 64. Yeah, this game really sucks. It's so much worse than the other two Mahjong games so far. Who is looking up to these pro Mahjong players and getting excited about this game? I mean, I don't know, maybe there are people like that. I remember getting excited about certain pro sports games back in the day, so maybe this is similar? This is clearly a game designed for people who are experts at Mahjong, which I feel the overlap between these people and gamers is just so minuscule. Plus, those pictures are still giving me the heebie-jeebies while writing this video. I'm honestly pretty confident no one has ever finished this game truly. But at the same time, you could argue that earning all those passwords is also the way to achieve 100% completion in this game. I don't know, I'm just kind of treating this one like a sports title, I guess. Like, it feels silly to play Mahjong over and over for... We did it for like 30 hours with Mahjong Master, and this is 10 times that. I don't know. The only positive thing I have to say about this one is I thought the quiz was pretty neat. It at least felt unique, so it was impossible to do it worse than the other Mahjong games. And man, only 2 songs for the entire game? I can't imagine dumping hundreds of hours into this. I gave it a 1 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 3 out of 10 for difficulty. To earn all those passwords would easily be a 10 out of 10, but well, yeah, I don't know, this game's a weird one for this challenge for sure. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. 297 on the list? God, come on, give us an English game. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go! 204? What's that? You know what? Okay. We're playing PGA European Tour. I didn't even know this was a game. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.